Hey, you guys, welcome in. And we have another exciting I am today. So, we are super excited to have this young lady on the porch. Look at her. She's absolutely beautiful. And one of the things I'm loving about her when I came across her on social media is she is encouraging us to be bold. And those of you who know me personally know that that's something I really need in my life. So, without further ado, let's bring her onto the platform. How you doing, Miss Lady? Tell us who you are and a little bit about what you do.
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for the invite. My name is Carla Dulaney, Carla Michelle, and Be Bold. All of those names just represent who I am. And I am the author of the Wedding Before the Wedding book series, as Carla Dulaney, the author. I am a singer songwriter of the very first single named Divinity. Um, that's Carla Michelle. Be Bold was more so a name that I got because it's my email address. And that's just that.
Well,
So it's
you're
been
gonna laugh
something.
because mine is new chick, so I can feel you on the be bold. I completely
Mhm.
understand.
Yes, yes. So that name's been around, ever since what? Yahoo probably started giving us email addresses because I think it's probably been over about 14, 15 years. So I've been working to be bold all these years, just being bold on extra levels here and there every year. Every time something happens, I'm being bold again.
Yes, yes, and that's what we want to do. So, when did you know that being bold was you and that you wanted to take it and not only because you guys, she's a life coach too. Um, I know she said that she wasn't certified, but you would know, honey, because the things that she says speaks directly to your heart. So, when did you know that you wanted to take on all these different avenues, being an author and a singer and encouraging us all to be bold? When did you step into that light?
I would really, if I had to be honest and transparent, I would say authentically about 6 years ago. Um, although although between 20, maybe 18 and between 18 and 20 years ago, I left an abusive marriage. I had been in an abusive marriage for 9 years, and it took boldness to do that because for that whole time I was afraid of this person. I was afraid of everything that he said he would do if I left. I was afraid of my children not having a father. I was afraid, so I just felt stuck and I felt paralyzed. So that year that I gained up enough courage to face that fear and just grab all of my things and my children and left. Although it was a bold move, I still was in fear because I wasn't sure when this person would ever come after me or if he would do anything that he said that he would do.
Mhm.
And maybe about a year or so later, he did exactly what I feared that he would do, and he came after me. But in that moment, I was able to face that man and tell him that
Yes.
I'm no longer afraid of him and that you will not hold me hostage ever
Yes.
again. And I left that day bold, right? I walked away bold. So about between 18 and 20 years ago, that's when I can say that I adopted, that be bold spirit. But moments and times change and transformations happen. We get faced with new things to fear, or be afraid to do. And so it was about 6 years ago, the real truth transparency, where it actually became intentional for me, was when I left my new marriage that I got married maybe about 2 years later after I left the abusive one. And I got married again. And it just was never, I never had time for Carla. I never had time to discover me. I never had time to discover my creativity and my gifts. And so I found myself having to face one of the toughest decisions again, to leave someone and be true to me and be true to what it was that I was feeling. And, so my husband didn't do anything wrong. I'm not going to say that this second marriage, he didn't do anything wrong. It just was, I was unhappy. And I'm not telling anybody to leave a situation because you're unhappy. But that was a bold move for me, because when everybody expected, all the church family expected me to stay in the marriage and be the deaconess and be the leader and be the teacher and be everything that they wanted me to be at church, all alongside my husband. I had to make that bold move again, and I decided I'm going to Texas because that's my dream. I want to go to Texas. I want to sit in the Potter's house under Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Okay.
you know, I had a dream even before I became an author that I had met T.D. Jakes. That dream hasn't come to pass just yet. And that I was actually in a bookstore and he met me. This was before I came out. Let me not tell too much of that. But yeah, so he be bold, another bold move. And I came here and intentionally I wrote The Wedding Before the Wedding, because The Wedding Before the Wedding was a true something that I wanted my characters to see. But I had to live it out first. I had to become married and committed to Carla Dulaney, Carla Michelle Dulaney. I had to be
Gotta come
married to
through.
her before I could commit and marry anybody else. So I created these characters named Iris, Lily, Dahlia, Rose, and Jade, all named after flowers, because I'm a nature buff. I love nature, and I love the allegory content of this book too, and how through the element of nature and dying and growing again and dying to yourself and growing again and living and dying and living, the whole aspect of being a flower. And so that's why I chose to name them after flowers. But I wanted to teach these fictional characters how to commit to you before ever committing to anybody else.
Yes, yes. And that's something that we all need as women, that time to ourselves, that
Yeah.
time to be bold, that time to know that we are flowers, right?
Yes.
We've had our moments where we've been plucked, but we are definitely flowers, and with the right nurturing and the right
Right.
atmosphere, we can grow again. So tell us more about the book. I'm intrigued. I know that you said it is audio. For those of you like me who don't necessarily like to read the words, it is available on audio. Tell us a little bit more without telling us everything. Tell us a little bit
Mhm.
more about that.
Well, yes. So the first part of The Wedding Before the Wedding is on Audible. The second copy the first and second copy are available on Amazon in paperback. And we're currently working on book 3. So I'm excited about that. But basically, it's about these ladies, one of them who's married. Lily is the married flower in the book, and she's kind of been the epitome of what a blissful and healthy marriage looks like. And her friends, Dahlia, Rose, Jade, and Iris, they each have gone through some relationship issues. And so they're in that moment of redefining themselves and being restored from those different hurtful relationships. One
Yes.
of them was in domestic violence, of course. Of course I could definitely relate to her. We have Rose, who is the older woman of the group, where she was one who kind of altered her appearance to be what her husband wanted her to be. but yet he still cheated on her. So she found herself constantly trying to be better and be better for, but she learned, and she's the more seasoned of the group, which is kind of like that spiritual mother to teach and guide the ladies about who they are authentically. And Iris is the one of our main characters. She's her who was married for a number of years, and she dealt with verbal abuse, and only because her husband dealt with mental illness. So she was trying to find, she was that one that stayed in the marriage because she felt like she had to, because he was sick, and she had to endure the abuse because he was sick. But she came to the conclusion that it's his responsibility to take care of himself mentally in order that he can be whole for her. So, she made the choice to leave her marriage, and now she's, restoring, getting back to herself. And so, yeah, I guess it's that typical relationship issues that most women deal with, but it's relatable and it's entertaining at the
Yeah.
same time. Yet you still can see the teaching and the mentoring and the ministering in the wedding before the wedding as well. So,
I can see myself in every last one that you just described. Like, I don't know who I'm going to identify with the most, but for sure, there's probably going to be some tears involved. So, what was COVID
yeah.
like for you? For most people, it was like if it didn't bring out the hustler in you, you just don't have it. But
Mm.
we already know that you do. So, what was COVID like for you? Was it a push for you to get out maybe on social media and start letting people know who you are? What did COVID do for you
Well, that's a very good question. Actually, I wrote the very first book
during COVID?
in COVID. Yeah,
Yeah.
in COVID. Yep, sure did. So, yeah, it brought out the hustler. Definitely did. Mhm.
And that is that's awesome. Were you able to I know a lot of us were quarantined to be at home, and so were you empty nesting is the reason why you were able to get this done, or were you just like shut up and let me do my book, y'all?
Oh man, when I tell you, it was almost like this shutdown that happened. Of course, it was a shutdown, but even in my everyday thinking, or I guess, or meditating, because I was still working full time and I was actually working in the office. But it was like, man, this has happened. Let me do something with it. And so I just went into this mode and I just wrote. I mean, I just poured out. It was like a pouring that just happened. I wrote the book in a matter of 6 months,
Oh wow.
and released it by the end of that year. And so it pushed me again for 2021 to do the exact same thing. And it was a pouring again. But I cannot say that this go around for book 3 that there's this pouring that's going on. The pouring is not the same. I wish the pouring was the same, but it's not. But yeah, COVID just kind of threw me into that place, and I just kind of shut down and wrote my heart out. Created these friends and characters that I could talk and minister to.
Yes. And so I bet that the pouring won't be the same in the third because now you're speaking from a place of like total heal, total healment, if that's a word. Like you are completely on the other side of it. And that is awesome and encouraging to me. You guys definitely want to go and check out her book. And like, yeah, I'm super excited. I'm like, I need to get right off in order right now. So you said you're a singer as well. So not only do
Yes.
you minister to us in those type of words, but in hymns and in song as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes.
Where can we
Well,
find those songs?
well, Divinity is on Spotify. It's on YouTube, and it's also on Apple Music. Divinity is a song that came from, just like what you just said, complete healment, if that's a word.
Yeah, we made it up.
You know,
It's one now.
where I truly connected with Carla Michelle, the
Yes.
divine me, the woman who's been afraid, even though she said be bold all these years.
Hmm.
Another moment to connect authentically with who I was called and purposed to be. And that only comes by facing fears, like being absolutely fearless. And that first experience of being fearless, and you get the exhilaration that comes with being fearless, just doing it, even though you are scared, you know, man, I have never had that before until I got the music from Louis Sachi, who is the one who created the music, and my friend, his name is Dion, and he introduced me to Louis, and the music came, and then the words came, and it all just kind of hit, and it just connected divinely,
Yeah.
you know, and to sing it and be it simultaneously, because there was no fear between all of this. I'm just gonna do it, and I'm gonna feel good about it. Like, and even more of an intention this time. And so I've always sung. I was the worship leader at church. But even at church, being in the element of where I believed God was, I was still afraid.
Hmm.
I was still worried about what people would think or say, or if I said that right, if my note was right. What if I didn't say it this way, and it didn't sound right? I'm too scared to ad lib because it might come out wrong, and all of that confusion that went on in that. But this was different. This was so different. And I was absolutely not afraid about what anybody's going to think, if support is going to come, if people are going to like it. It doesn't matter. Because when I heard the song for myself and something went off in me and it touched me, uh, that was healment.
Yes, and divinely orchestrated because it all
Yeah.
just fell into place and it felt
Yeah.
good in the spirit and the soul. And like you are so encouraging me in this whole little gamut. I understand about being fearful and afraid that you won't get the support, afraid that it won't come out right.
Mhm.
But I'm just enjoying being me, and I'm enjoying coming across people like you who are helping me enjoy being me, not telling me that I have to be this way or that way, but just telling me that Miss McKinney is good enough.
Yeah.
So you also do a little bit of counseling on the side. If someone wants to reach out to you and pick up on some of that be bold spirit, if we want to be like Miss Carla Michelle, how can they reach out to you? How can they find you for all these different avenues that you support and give?
Yeah, well, you can always email me at Carla Michelle. That's Carla. And this is not Michelle as in Michelle, because that's often mistaken, but it's CarlaMashell at
Nice.
gmail.com. You can follow me on IG, TikTok, Facebook at under Carla Dulaney. I just love encouraging people and reading my word. And if God gives me something to give and pour out to, someone on TikTok, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. We also host a call once a month called A Safe Place for Sisters. And this is a call where we invite women who may find themselves like Iris, Dahlia, Lily, Jade, or Rose, who, just recently come from a relationship that was very disappointing, maybe narcissistic abuse or any sort of abuse, and you're just looking for a safe place to talk it out. You can be safe with us. And so, if you email me, I can definitely send you the link to join our call once a month. We have some women that are on this call that can relate to you. They're very transparent about what they've gone through, and they're very open to share and offer some sort of word or so to help you get into that healment place. So, yes, you can reach out to me if you would like to join our call, Safe Place for Sisters, at carlamichelle@gmail.com.
Yes, ma'am. So remind us of where we can find your book and where we can find the song as well.
Okay, yes, ma'am. You can find The Wedding Before the Wedding on Audible or Amazon.com. Both books, you can get the first copy for regular price and half price for the second book. Get yourselves acquainted with the characters. Sorry. Uh oh. Can you
It's
still
okay.
hear me?
You're
A
back.
call
Yes,
came
ma'am.
through. Amazon.com. Get yourselves acquainted with the ladies of The Wedding Before the Wedding. You can find this very first single. I'm excited about making more and writing more songs. You can find Divinity on Apple Music or YouTube and Spotify. There's a link in my bio on IG, though, too, if you want to go there. And if you'd like to support the creator in me, because I see where I would like to employ actors and creators as well so that we can make this book a movie. If you'd like to support that mission, you can go to my Patreon as well, which the link is also in the bio on IG, and help support. I have some very good products that I can offer you as well, for your support. So
Greatness, greatness. And I'm definitely going to support. Maybe I can be like on the standby, maybe someone in a restaurant or something.
Girl, I'm telling you, and I love your voice. Your voice is so soothing and sweet.
Why,
I
thank
love
you
your
very
voice.
much. If I've
Yes.
gone through a lot of helmet to get to that point, to get to that point. So my last question is,
Mhm.
um, we know that you've been through a lot, and I thank you so much for sharing that. I'm not gonna cry on this platform. I will when we get off. It always does me so good to find people who are willing to be open
Yeah.
about what they've been through, and then of course share. So, what would you say to the younger Miss Carla, knowing everything that you know now, everything that you've been through, knowing that you're on the other side and killing it? What would you
Oh,
say to the younger Miss
thank
Carla?
you. I would say to the younger Miss Carla, be bold, baby. Be bold. Like, don't you fear a thing. If you feel it in your heart to do it, sis, you better do it. And don't care about what anybody's going to say, think, or feel. Do it. Because if you can think it and believe it, you can absolutely do it.
Absolute greatness. So you guys see why she had to be the next I am on the porch, y'all. We've got to
Oh,
go out and support Miss Carla and individuals like her that have been on the porch that continue to inspire and encourage us. So thank you for joining us. What we got there?
I wanted you to see that I have that tattooed on my hand. I am.
I am. Oh my! It was so meant. It was so meant.
Divine connections.
Yes, absolutely. And I thank God for each and every one of them.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for bringing the outside atmosphere with us. We really wish we could do it here, but it's beautiful out there. And I hope that you enjoy your time. So, what time is it? It's time for you to be you, baby, which is
Yes, ma'am.
absolutely beautiful. Don't let nary another individual tell you anything any different. And if they do, get them right on up out of your circle today. Do it like today. Be strong, take care, and
You
be blessed.
too. Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.